So, imagine you send an AI-generated music track to somebody who is in music. Dangerous already. Because these are not people who simply listen to music. These people are in music. As if they entered a basement studio in 2009 and never fully returned psychologically. So you send the AI track, and immediately you know they will watch maximum 5 seconds. Their nervous system already classified the whole thing as unacceptable life form. Because AI music for them feels less like a song and more like somebody discovered that the printer now has emotions. Like my dog with horses. My dog sees a horse, like somebody accidentally installed the wrong animal into reality. He freezes. No, this should not exist. And honestly, humans are exactly the same. One person cannot process AI music, another cannot process electric cars, another opens PDFs like they're cursed Soviet artifacts. We all have categories our brain quietly refuses to admit into existence. Some people calmly follow wars, economic collapse, global disasters. But AI-generated jazz appears and suddenly their soul goes, absolutely not. And honestly, who do you think played the soft jazz at the beginning of this show? Yeah, exactly. Somewhere one exhausted jazz musician right now is whispering, the brush technique was wrong. Meanwhile, everybody else just heard emotionally acceptable elevator sadness. And people say, yeah, okay. But AI generated the music, AI generated the jazz, AI generated the voice, sure. But somebody still pressed the button. Some tired human still sat there at 1:40 a.m. regenerating versions, changing words, adjusting prompts, listening again, thinking, no, this part feels dead inside. Before, people said, listen to what I composed. Now it's listen to what I prompted, combined, regenerated, trimmed, and emotionally pushed through the machine at 2 a.m. And honestly, that still sounds painfully human to me. And that's another thing musicians hate now, because music used to look ceremonial. You enter the studio, everybody's serious, producer touching buttons like nuclear launch operators. Meanwhile now, the guy making the song might be walking his dog, talking into his phone, buying windshield washer fluid, a Canadian Tire, whispering, no, no, replace darkness with parking lot sadness. Then later he's standing in line somewhere, adjusting lyrics, adding background jazz, moving audience laughs slightly to the left emotionally, while eating a sandwich. And honestly, that part feels offensive to people in music because they suffered correctly. They spent years learning microphones, rooms, acoustics, compressors. And now some exhausted man in a winter jacket creates existential jazz monologues between tire rotations. Somewhere a producer sees this and immediately buys another analog synthesizer for emotional protection. And software developers are fascinating in this situation too, because AI arrived there also, but developers already lost emotionally years ago. Music people say, this song represents my soul. Developers say, this error represents my final psychological condition. Music is emotional. Coding is mostly trying to understand why something that worked yesterday now destroys your entire weekend. AI touching music feels personal. AI touching enterprise Java microservices. That just feels like mercy. How many developers here? Yeah, you recognize developers instantly. They laugh, but with the eyes of people who deployed on Friday once. And you, sir, you look exactly like somebody who says, I support innovation, as long as innovation happens far away from your profession. And you definitely ignored at least 3 links today. No, You're not cruel. Your organism simply decided, no new realities tonight. Every generation has its horse. Something arrives, people panic, then 20 years later, everybody pretends they always accepted it. And somewhere right now, a tired musician closes an AI music tab after 5 seconds, while the future quietly remains in the room.